I'm so appreciative of your time. Thank you so much for coming today and being so generous with your time.
Well,
I'm
look,
trying
I
to
just want to
stay
say that
calm.
I remember when I transitioned out of boxing and all the different steps that I took. So when you reached out to me, I definitely want to support you because number one, you're a fellow boxer. Number two, you're a woman, and I like the way that you carry yourself. So that's why I was
Thank
supporting you from
you.
the beginning without even knowing you, and I gave you your props for that.
Thank you. You have so much support. Whoever you come across, you support them, and you're not afraid to help them out, no matter who they are, how high, low. I heard you say something on one of your interviews as well, and I was like, oh my God, that's something I tell my friends also. I'm not a bully, but I'll be a bully if somebody else is bullying other people.
Right,
I'll be
of
like,
course.
hey, there's no need for that. I'll stand up for others.
Mm-hmm.
And when you said that, I was like, oh, she's my girl.
Yeah,
Like,
well, as you know, and we can relate, we both like to fight, right?
Yes.
And not everybody does. Not everybody can defend themselves. So yeah, definitely when I see somebody picking on someone, I've always been that way since I was a kid. And I'm always gonna defend myself as well, because I do have a mean streak, which obviously served me well in the ring, and I'll go back to that when I have to. But outside of that, I do a lot of things now where, I'm hosting, I'm on TV, and I'm working with big brands, blue chip brands, and you can't always act that way. So there's a time and a place for everything. But when I'm the boxer, I'm serious about boxing. When I'm hosting, I'm serious about hosting.
Yes.
When I'm philanthropist, I'm serious about
Yes.
philanthropy. So you just gotta know what hat to put on and when to wear it.
Correct.
But you can, we don't want to be put inside of a box, right?
Yeah.
You want to be able to be great at multiple things, whatever it is that your heart desires. There's people that only want to do one thing. That's great.
Exactly.
Just
exactly.
do what makes you happy.
And that's one thing I came into boxing. I always said, I'm not just a boxer. I happen to be boxing at this moment. I happen to fall in love with the sport. And it wasn't something I wanted to do. I just went into the gym. I wanted to fight. I wanted to see how I handled myself. And that was it. But you also have a similar story where you weren't even wanting to fight in the beginning. And you went into the gym to lose weight.
I knew that I was going to the boxing gym because I wanted to see if I had talent.
Mm-hmm.
But I told everybody else I was only going to work out, at the time, because I knew I'm not your average person. I'm Muhammad Ali's daughter, one of the most famous, beloved men in the world. Following in his footsteps as a woman, I knew it was not going to be easy. I'm very methodical and very strategic. And I also knew at the time that I had many different opportunities. I've always been very confident in myself. I was an entrepreneur and had my own nail salon at 18. And it wasn't because my dad got it for me. I worked my way up, subleased a space, did all the footwork, went to beauty school, took public bus, system, all of that to get it done. And when I saw boxing on television for the first time, it was Christy Martin was fighting a girl named Deidre Gogarty, and it was on a major undercard. She was fighting on Mike Tyson's undercard. And I turned on the TV to watch Mike Tyson, and then all of a sudden these women come in the ring, and I was like in awe.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know women box because it just wasn't publicized.
Yeah.
A lot of people think I'm the first, but I'm not. There's so many women before me, and I've always said it. There's lots of women, that you just have never even heard of. So I was inspired. So then I said, you know what? It took me about a year, to actually think it through because I had never been an athlete. I wasn't in shape. I had no idea what it would take. I knew that my father wasn't going to like it. I didn't think that people would necessarily accept it. I was in school full time and I'm a planner. So I was like, well, what about all of this time and energy and investment I put into my business? How am I just going to stop and box? So a year went by before I actually said, let me go try it. And then I found a boxing gym and started going after school, after work, every night, and I fell in love with it. And that's when I knew when you first get in that gym, you remember sparring for the first time.
Oh my gosh.
And when you get hit for the first time, that's when you find out, do you really want to do this or not?
But wait, for the first time when you sparred, were you like, I remember sparring for the first time, I was like it wasn't natural. Were you a natural?
No. I mean, street fighting is so different than boxing.
And you had your degree in street fighting.
Yeah, so I thought I was gonna kick this girl butt. Like I was like listening to hardcore rap music. I called my mom and my stepdad, come to the gym today, I'm sparring. Everybody's to bring the camera,
Yeah.
I was gonna whoop this girl. Now I remember the girl's name, Marsha Valley, professional fighter, tall like us. She had an okay record. And she was in the gym and she was gonna spar with me. Well, little did I know, she was ready to try to whoop my ass too. And yeah, because I'm who I am. Yeah, so she had to show me, which I would have done too.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that she was gonna put it on me. So I got in there, and I remember just swinging and missing, and her just jabbing and hitting me pretty much anytime she wanted to. Because you don't know how to fight your first time. You know, I didn't have any experience, but what I learned from that was that I had the fight in me because I kept going. I didn't like turn my back, or I didn't say, oh, I don't want to do this. And I've seen people come in the gym say they want to fight, but then they get hit and they don't like it. It's like, you're not just going to be doing the hitting, you're going to get hit.
Exactly.
And you have to be able to take it. So, you know, of course, like the next time I got in there with her, I had learned, and then I was whooping on her. You know what I mean? Because I progressed really quickly because it is in my genes and because, you know, everyone has a different level of expectation of themselves in terms of, you know, the output. So like I had a great trainer, you know, and I had high expectations of myself and was working really hard. So I progressed really quickly. So like I said, the next time I sparred with her, you know, I got her, and she had been boxing for years. But I'm talking about in a matter of months. For me, maybe 6 months it went by.
Yes, that's what happened with me too. That's awesome. So. That's so awesome. So with your street fights, where did that aggression come from? Where did that anger come from that you would just, or was it just, you just had to stand up for yourself because a lot of people thought, you know, you were just gonna be some pushover and because of who you were?
I never would start a fight. I mean, you have to imagine, I'm Muhammad Ali's daughter. I had nice clothes. People thought I was pretty. I had an attitude about myself, you know, where it's like you think you're better. Yeah, definitely. But I also had attitude because, you know, when you're young, you're trying to figure it out, right? What's confidence? What's attitude? What's arrogance? You know, people sometimes mesh them all together. So for me, but at the same time, if someone challenged me, I wouldn't back down. So I would a lot of times have friends who lived in certain parts of the neighborhoods and weren't good. You go there, they automatically don't like you because you're not from the neighborhood, you know, because their boyfriend thinks you're cute or because you have on name brand clothes. That alone will start a fight. And I was just not one to turn away. So that's how I would get into fights. And also, like I said, being the good bully, coming to people's, you know, a rescue a lot of times, I got in trouble as well. But it wasn't like I was fighting every day. I'm just saying that most people you talk to have never had a fight or had one fight and they hated it. I was the type of person that I never shy away from confrontation. It excites me even to this day. So I get this adrenaline rush and I'm just like, what? I'm trying to get in it. Like if I'm in Starbucks line and I see somebody getting into it, I'm like, wait a minute, you don't talk to her like that? That's not, you know, so it's just like, and I don't think I'm Laila Ali, I can't deal with this. It's like,
just a human.
What's right is right and what's wrong is wrong, period, as far as I'm concerned.
Exactly.
I'm sure my eyes are so big right now that I get talking about fighting, I'm like.
No, you still have it in you. Heck, it's never going to leave you.
Of course
it's never going to leave you.
Of course not. You know, most people think boxing is something you do because you have to do, not because you want to do. Like people who come from a poor background or from the streets or whatever the case may be. And I remember all the animosity from the other girls. Like, where is she coming from all of a sudden? Of course. And especially if you're attractive, you're already, you know, as women, we're already going to sometimes, you know, be jealous or act a certain way. And then when you get to fight somebody, you know, they have this mentality. They want to hit you in the face. You know, it's like, guess what? I want to hit you in your face too. So you better watch out. So, you know, I wouldn't say that looks shouldn't matter, but they do. And, you know, obviously they can work for you. They can work against you. It's like in life, everyone likes something beautiful, whether it's a car, whether it's a house, whether it's a man or a woman or scenery. You know, it gives you something inside, a positive energy that makes you feel some kind of way. So it's like you want to use that in a positive way, not in a negative way.
And people have thrown so much shade, well, probably thrown so much shade at you as well for being beautiful and being the daughter of Ali and being in the sport, but also they've done the same thing with me in the sport of, you know, I came into the sport and happened to have a quick success, and they're just, you know, trying to find some other reason why.
There's always, and there'll always be something, you know, it's like there'll always be something, but that's one thing that, you know, is so obvious. Like the things that are said sometimes, like, I think I haven't heard that before, you know, it's all, but they're going to judge you a different way. But I mean, I don't sit here and go, poor me, I'm so pretty and people just hate on me. It's like, keep hating on me, I'm keep whooping your ass. And then we can talk about it all later, okay? After the fight. There's a whole new respect. So you got to earn their respect. You know, and it's just the way that it is.
And that's one thing you do so beautifully. You've carried yourself with so much grace and within the public, and even though some things have been thrown at you, you don't go off in public. There is a time to go off, like, but it's at your own house. People don't need to see that.
Yeah, I mean, to an extent. I mean, the thing about me is, like I said, I'm very calculated, I'm very strategic. So if I say anything, trust and believe I'm saying it for a reason. anything.
Love that. Yeah.
So
Same
if
here.
I mention your name for
Mhm.
any reason, I'm doing it because I want to, not because you know, I'm in a situation where somebody put me on the spot. Because I've been doing this long enough at a high level, being Muhammad Ali's daughter. I had 80 different media outlets at my pro debut.
That's
I'm
insane.
talking about no amateur fights, nothing. At my pro
You
debut,
had zero amateur.
zero amateur fights.
What was going through your mind, first of all?
I mean, I was ready for war, to be honest with you. I was like, you know, because I hyped myself up. Like, I have a coach in my head, and you know, my dad told me not to do it. Didn't think I should do it. You know, I told him I was doing it anyway, so he was there in the audience. That was big. Then just everybody, you know, that knew how hard I had been working. Then the naysayers, you know, that you're too pretty to box. Why are you boxing? They didn't make, you know, this must be a publicity stunt. All these different things, and then just different. I'm talking about international media outlets. And this is before Instagram and, you know, online, but it still was going to get circulated, right? So then I ended up knocking the girl out in 54 seconds, and I was ready for war. But of course, my team, my management made sure I had someone that was not going to be any challenge in terms of the possibility of losing, because they didn't know what I was going to do. You know, you could get in there and freeze up.
Yeah.
You know, I could say I'm going to go in there and do X, Y, and Z, but what is she going to do when those lights are on, when that bell rings, when she gets hit with those small gloves, with no headgear, with the audience, all those things.
Oh my God, my hands are getting
right.
warm.
You know, just all those things. I didn't even understand the rules really.
Yeah.
You know, like the 3 knockdown rule and this and that. You know,
Me either.
the ref is telling you, but you're like, But
when
what
they
is
said
that?
go to the whatever corner, I'm
Yeah.
like, which
What
one?
corner? Right.
I didn't know any of that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So that's what I'm saying. So I was kind of just like, oh, okay, whatever, you know, but you don't realize, you know, even the scoring, you're just like, wait, how does it work? But
you
know,
just see you loved it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I got the
That's
knockout.
beautiful.
So
Yeah.
and the first time I got the knockout, I remember afterwards I was upset, kind of like, that's it? Like all that training, all that running, all that preparing for 54 seconds. Then I was mad.
Yep.
And then, you know, I was like, okay, whatever. You know, the win is a win. But then I wanted knockouts. You know, I was like, oh, okay, that's how you do it? All right, I want to keep doing that, you know. So my goal was always to get a knockout.
That's awesome. And that you did.
Well, not every time,
But
I
no,
mean,
you had
3 fights I didn't have, and I can tell you the reasons why. It's not important, but I'm saying I know why. You know, but like I said, that was always my goal. You know, we have our own personal goals.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Looking back, did you have that long-term goal of like, okay, I'm going to transition go into movies or go into something or do something after boxing, but still be on the platform of either health or boxing? Did you want to stay connected with boxing after boxing, or did you want to say like, no, I'm done with boxing because of that?
I always knew that I was going to be successful, whatever it was that I did, because I'm a very ambitious person. Like I said, I had a nail salon by the time I was, 18. Laila's Nail Studio. I had a thriving business, and I was in school for business. So I was an entrepreneur and a go-getter and a hard worker. I never said I want to be on TV, I want to be a host, none of that. I actually did not want to be a public person. And that's why that year it took me to decide to become a boxer. That was an inner conflict for me, because I was like, I'm going to become a public person if I do this, you know?
Yeah.
But I had to follow my dream. So no, if nobody would recognize me, I'd rather it be that way, because I grew up with my father everywhere we went. So once I transitioned out of boxing, I started hosting different shows, and I had jobs, but at the same time, I wasn't really passionate about anything I was doing. And being an entrepreneur, I like to be in control of my success.
Yes.
When you have a show, it's kind of like if the show goes away, you're back at the starting point. Like, now what? Waiting for someone to give you a job. So it took me about 5 years to discover that I'm really passionate about health and wellness. So I started the Laila Ali lifestyle brand, and that's been a journey, just building my website, and now I have products, and then just the content that's on there.
The spices, the replenish shakes and everything like that. Yes.
So it's really just about encouraging people to be the best version of themselves by replenishing their health, replenishing their mindset, replenishing their purpose in life. Having the opportunity to work with Oprah was amazing. Now you think, okay, my show comes on the Oprah Winfrey Network.
Yes,
but I don't actually work with Oprah on a day-to-day. So it was amazing for her to invite me to be a part of her new tour about empowering people to go after their purpose and their intentions in life, because we really aligned with our messaging. And what was really big to me is that they were able to see Laila Ali lifestyle brand as a connection, you know, and I put so much time and energy and invested so much money into my brand for someone to be able to say, okay, she can come be a part of this because this is real.
Yeah.
It's not just talk. You're actually, this is your life. This is what
Right.
you're doing, you know? So to be on stage with her and have my moment in front of 16,000 women who all are here to say, yes, we want to empower ourselves. That's what was amazing. Like, I love Oprah, but you know, when your dad's Muhammad Ali, you look at people a little bit differently. You know, it's not, I wasn't like at all like some people like, but still, you still have to embrace the fact that she saw something in me, because it could have been anybody, to invite me for that moment. And then for me to have, you know, the opportunity to, you know, share with an audience that I wouldn't have had, her audience. So
Yeah. Right now, what is it that inspires you? Or who?
I have so many different types of inspirations. You know, I am a mom. I have 2 children. You know, I have an 8-year-old daughter. I have an 11-year-old son.
They wanted to go into boxing?
No, they do not, thank God. I'm not encouraging my children to go into boxing, and they don't seem to be the type that would. If out of the 2 someone did, it would be my daughter, because she's the feisty one. She's just like me, but she's very athletic. But we're pushing her in tennis.
Okay.
Whatever it is that she wants to do, I'm going to support her.
Okay.
But yeah, if they don't become athletes, that's totally fine. Like we don't put my husband played in the NFL for 13 years. We don't, you know, we're not putting pressure on our son to play football. It's not in his temperament. He's not into it. You know, he's not athletic. He's like into engineering. He's a little kind of nerdy, you know, and I'm like, wow, my son. Like I never would have thought, you know, but he's big and he's strong, but he's got the sweetest heart. And he looks just like my dad, which is, I mean, just like you would think it was a photo of my dad if you saw him young. Yeah. Aww. So they inspire me. You know, I'm also inspired as a woman to keep myself healthy and fit. You know, being that I was an athlete for so many years, I know what it is to look my best. I know what it is to feel my best. So I'm always trying to reach that, you know, but at the same time,
good.
No, but you know what I'm saying? It's like
everybody on here is like,
but the thing is like, you know, when you say your best, and you know, because I watch you, you're fit, you're lean, you're weight training. I used to do that. I don't have the time to train in that way anymore. Plus your body changes after you get older, after you have children, you have a different lifestyle. You know, I was boxing, I was 168. Now I'm 200.
That's insane.
People look at me now and they're like, how are you 200 pounds?
How exactly?
Yeah, but it's like, I can tell you, because I'm like, you don't see that cut there like it used to be. But no, I'm saying,
literally, you carry it so freaking beautifully.
I'm a tall girl. I got big hands. I got big, what size shoe you wear?
9.
See, I wear 12.
Yeah.
So I'm saying.
But I wear size 9, but I'm 5'10". It's small for my height.
Yeah, it is. But I'm saying, like I tell people all the time, I'm not just tall. I'm physically a big girl. I'm proud of it.
I love it.
I mean, like I said, I have big hands, I got big head, I got big feet. So I can carry 200 pounds, but when you talk about elite athlete, you're talking about body fat percentage, you're talking about performance, you're talking about all these things. So, you know, I'm always trying to be the best version of myself. And that's why I always encourage others to be. It's not about weight, it's about just how I feel.
You remember a time where you just realized that, holy, you know, I made it on my own work, my own sweat, my own fill in the blank.
It's funny.
When was that?
Yeah, it's funny because being Muhammad Ali's daughter, entering into the sport that he was in, you would think, okay, you're always going to be in the shadow. You're always going to be seen that way. And the funny thing is that I knew early on that I wasn't, as a child, I'm talking about, well, I shouldn't say child. I knew early on when I was really young, when I made the decision to go into the sport, that I wasn't going to worry about that. I was going to focus on me. And what I wanted to do. Like when I woke up in the morning, when I went to the gym every day, I wasn't like, I'm Muhammad Ali's daughter. What can that do for me today? It was like, this is my goal. This is my passion. I remember people trying to get me to do the rope-a-dope and trying to get me to call out rounds and, you know, playing on that, which I never did. I was like, no, because that's what my dad did. That's not what I want to do. I don't even want to do it. So I'm not going to make, try to get attention that way.
That takes so much character.
Well, I mean, you know, it's funny because I'm the only one that me and my dad kind of bumped heads, because I was like, yeah, you all that, but so am I. Like, you're not any better than I am, Miss Ali. Like, you know, but we always had that attitude.
Yeah.
I always had that attitude with my father. I'm like a lot like him.
Yeah.
So it was like, I really wanted to do my own thing. Yeah. And I can look up now and say, wow, you know, I definitely have been able to create my own lane. And at the same time, I'm so comfortable, and I always have been in my lane, that I have no problem also being in his shadow, in the sense of the word of being Muhammad Ali's daughter. I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud to have the same DNA as my father.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, when anyone asks me about my father, or, you know, I'm representing my father always, you know, it's something that I take a lot of pride in. But at the same time, the reality of it is I do have my own lane.
You do.
And, you know, outside of boxing, I've been able to be successful in many areas because of my work ethic, because of, you know, the expectation that I have of myself, you know, and I think that that's something that'll never change. And anyone who knows me knows that. So it's something that can never be taken away. You're always gonna have those people that's like, oh, you know, you used your father's name. I'm like, that's my name. What do you mean?
Exactly.
Should I change my name? Like,
Exactly.
what do you want me to do? So, but that's ignorant. You know, those, but for the most part, I think people think of me as Laila Ali.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't even know me from boxing, never even saw me fight, you know, because women's boxing just wasn't out there like that when I was boxing. Like I said, there was no social media. There wasn't like, you know, women in boxing in the Olympics, none of that. So they like the idea that I was a boxer, that it's cool, that it's cool and you're feminine, you'll kick ass, but they haven't actually necessarily seen you fight. Yep. So I think it's great that you have the opportunity now. With women's boxing being in the Olympics, that was a big boost, you know, because now you have a resurgence. I mean, when I was fighting, more girls started boxing because they saw what it could be. More promoters get behind women because they're like, oh, obviously they want to make money off you, like they do any fighter, any male fighter. So then they'll start getting behind women, but you're seeing like all women's fight cards, and you're seeing all these different girls like Katie Taylor and you and Michaela.
Yeah.
And I remember her in the gym when I was, you know, boxing as an amateur. How long?
Michaela Mayer?
Michaela Mayer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, she's awesome.
I was going out.
Awesome.
She was already in the amateurs, but I remember her being a young girl in the gym and training. I'm talking about, I've trained in Vegas with Roger Mayweather, Floyd Mayweather, Buddy McGirt, but I'm talking about when I was training in LA. From time to time, I would see her in the gym, and now she's a pro and she's doing amazing. You know, she has a promoter behind her. And she has, you know, promotional deals, and she carries herself really well. And I really respect when you look like an athlete physically, because, you know, we are a specimen in itself. When that's what you do for a living, you should look like it. That's how I feel. And I feel that, you know, you're representing not only women's boxing, you're representing women, and your little girls are coming behind you, seeing that you don't have to be any stereotype. You can be anything you want to be. You can be powerful, you can be strong, you can be a beast in the ring, a lady outside the ring. And to me, that's the triple threat, you know, and that's what's going to take things to the next level, when women boxers can be seen as athletes who can, because we're in a business, right? You want to be able to get deals, you want to be able to have brands support you, you know what I mean? But they're not going to get behind an athlete who isn't going to represent the brand well. You don't see many boxers, period, with endorsement deals. I'm talking about crossing over with Nike or Adidas or any of that. I had those opportunities because not only did I do well in the ring, but I also had a famous last name. So I recognize I couldn't have had one without the other, though. You see what I'm saying? It was the two together. So, you know, but I love seeing the opportunities that you have now, you know, and that's why I think I might have reached out to you or something.
After my fight, you did, and I was so geeked out. I had just received a bunch of backlash from just truly. It was a Franchon. It was a 20 hour. They called me a few hours before the weigh-in. And I said, heck yeah, because I had something to prove. That one was for me, because I was like, I need to prove something on this fight. And you reached out, and I just was like, yo. I was so grateful. I think I was just dealing with the moment. I was letting them get to me for a second, and you reached out, and that meant so much. So thank you so much for that. And then after agreeing to do this, you are such a beautiful person, and you care. I just love the way you carry yourself on everything, and you are who I look up to on stepping outside of boxing and continuing on with my life. And boxing is a moment in our life, but if you're a horrible person while you're boxing, I mean, why do that? Why? It's not worth it to me. Everybody has this opportunity, and there's been women in the sport who have told me, you're just taking up space in this. I'm like, why are you worried about me if I'm not important in the sport, or if you're not threatened by me, why worry about me that way? So
There's gonna be haters no matter what you do. So I think I might have said something to that extent before, and it's like, you know, you use that as your fire, you know what I'm saying, and keep that burning, because if, you know, when you get too relaxed, that's not good either. You always got to remember somebody's trying to take your head off. So it makes it easier when they let you know who they are, you know, but you got to keep your enemies close.
Yeah. I'll never break bread with them, but I won't wish them.
Right.
Yeah, I wish them well. All right, last question. How do you want to be remembered?
They start asking you when you get 40 plus. No, I'm playing.
You look like you're 25.
You know, when people ask me how I want to be remembered, it's just really what comes to mind are a couple of words, and it's authentic, loyal, and just every woman. Because I get it all in, trust me. I like to do it all. I like to do every job like it's my only one. I really do. There's so many things that are on the horizon for me in terms of just my personal brand, you know, different opportunities that come up. It's just really a matter of which one makes the most sense for me.
And the timing on it. Keep uploading all those videos of you dancing in the kitchen and cooking it up.
I need to make some more, girl.
I love them.
I need to make some more dancing videos. I keep reposting. I was like, I need to do some new ones.
No, those are good. I'm like, yes, like get it.
I see you dancing too.
Oh yeah, some Selena.
Yes.
All right, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it so very much, and I'm looking forward to everything you have. And for me, just to look up to you is and having you here is everything. I appreciate you so much for your time, and I'm trying to stay calm inside.
Okay.
But everybody here is probably the same way, feeling the same way as me. But for all those little girls that are looking up, I did envision me being here one day, but man, it's beautiful to look back at the journey and to see that what you said, hard work really does pay off at the end. And don't give up on yourself, and don't give up no matter if they don't see your vision or they're throwing rocks at you, whatever it is, just it'll work if you put the work in.
Absolutely. And the same way that you are inspired by me, just remember that you can inspire someone else. You know, and that's what I'm always reminding myself of. So they're always watching. You're always being watched, you know, and it's the life that you lead, not the words that come out of your mouth, but your actions that mean the most. So thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for all you're doing, and I wish you all the best. And, you know, I'm here for you. You know, I told you.
We got to get in the ring.
I'm in better shape now.
Yes.
So,
yes.
You know, and, you know, I'm going to touch you up a little bit.
No, girl, you can go as hard. If I get a beat, I got to beat the Laila Ali.
I'm going to hit you with a good body shot just so she can be like, damn, that was hard.
Yes, no, please do. Thank you. Thank you so much.